Hi guys, welcome back to this series of UX videos. In this video, we will be continuing with the UX research methods and the planning tools that I use to gather initial data. When you're still getting to know your users, when you're still gathering data from your users, getting to know what your users want. From the previous video, we covered the quantitative research method and the research tool that falls under it. So in this video, we'll go through the qualitative research tools, two qualitative research tools that I use to gather initial data. Remember that we said qualitative research method looks at the why. So we try to understand why the users are behaving the way they are behaving, their motivations and attitudes behind their behaviors. So in this video, we will cover the two research tools that I use to collect data, the two qualitative research tools that I use to collect data from users when you're still gathering data during the planning stage of your design process. So the first qualitative research tool that we'll look into is the interviews, and we all know what interviews are. It's basically a one-on-one session. So a UX designer sits face-to-face with the user, and then they discuss, the designer or the researcher asks questions with the user will respond to the questions that they're asking, whatever topic is at hand. And as a researcher, you need to make sure that you choose the right audience for whatever system that you're developing. So for example, if you're designing a system for varsity students, you need to make sure that your users, the people that you're interviewing, are actually varsity students, so they'll be able to tell you why they behave the way they do, their motivations behind their behaviors. So you can't go and look for high school learners or primary school learners and interview those people, because those are not the target audience for the system that you're implementing. And as you conduct the interviews, you need to make sure that they're open-ended. So you can't ask questions that require a one-word response like yes or no or agree or disagree. You need to make sure that they're open-ended, and that the benefit of this is that it keeps the interview conversational. The user actually engages with you as you ask the question. So you can ask something like, in your opinion, please discuss the benefits of social distancing, things like that. So the user would actually respond and give you a depth explanation as to what the benefits of social distancing are. That's why they say interviews need to be semi-structured. By semi-structured, we mean that you need to stick to the process or to the procedure of like conducting interviews, but you need to make sure that it's conversational as well. You need to make sure that the user is engaging with you and giving you the depth explanation of their behaviors, the motivations behind their behaviors. The benefits of interviews are that they actually point out the issues that need to be explored further. So if you find issues as to maybe the benefits of social distancing, you can actually explore the responses that the users give you further and try to find out more information regarding that. And the other benefit is that they give you the rich information or detailed explanation or information as to why people act in a certain way or behave in a certain way, or the motivations behind their behaviors. But also, interviews also have their own disadvantages. So for example, they can be very time consuming, and this is because you're conducting a one-on-one session with each and every user that you're interviewing. So this is why you need to make sure that you actually interview enough people to ensure that you're getting an accurate response of why people are doing certain things, of why people are acting the certain way. And also, the interviewer needs to be very skilled. You need to be very skilled in order to get the results that you want, because you can be asking the questions but like asking all the wrong questions. So you need to make sure that as an interviewer, you're very skilled. You know how to ask people, you know how to probe people to give you the responses that are actually detailed enough for you to gather the entire research and to collect the entire data that you need before you actually start designing the system. The next research tool that we'll look into is the focus group or yeah, focus groups. So with focus groups, it's basically when you gather maybe, let's say, 6 to 8 people with similar characteristics, and then you sit together with them at the same time, and then you discuss whatever question is at hand, whatever topic is at hand. Instead of like conducting a one-on-one session with each and every user, you actually sit with people, 6 to 8 people with similar characteristics, similar people that are behaving, let's say, in a similar way, and then you ask them to discuss whatever question is at hand. The benefit of conducting focus groups is that they're a bit faster than interviews, because now you're sitting with a group of people, 6 to 8 people, instead of just one person, so you can get the results that you want very fast. And also you get to gather similar people to discuss a specific topic of whatever you want to find out. But the disadvantages of focus groups is groupthink, and with groupthink, this is basically when everybody starts behaving or saying something because somebody else has said it. So one person would say this, and then the rest of the group would be like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that, and stuff like that. So that's actually the disadvantage to these focus groups. And also because you're sitting with a group of people, there are people that are just not willing to give out their opinion, maybe because they are shy of whatever reason. That can be a disadvantage. But as an interviewer, you need to be very skilled to make sure that your users or the people that you're sitting with are comfortable enough to give their opinions, to give you the responses that you actually want. And the other disadvantage is that it's hard to manage when you have people that talk a lot. So let's say you have like 6 to 8 people and all of them talk a lot. It can be like very hard to manage, but as the researcher, you need to make sure that you actually manage the entire process, and you ask the right questions, and just keep the conversation, or like the entire discussion managed, and make sure that everybody's just giving just enough responses for you to gather the information that you want. So that brings us to the end of the qualitative research tools, and please just bear in mind that the 3 research tools that we've discussed so far, so the surveys that fall under the quantitative research method, and the 2 that we discussed just now, the interviews and the focus groups, are the 3 ways that we use to collect initial data from our users. And once we've collected the initial data, and now that we understand, or we know what some of the issues are, we know why people are behaving in a certain way, then we can start moving on to the other qualitative research tools like personas, jobs to be done, job stories, where we start with the design process, evaluating the system. We now have an idea as to what the kind of people that our users are, so we can start designing the system based on what we know about our users. But then we'll explore that further into the next videos. For now, this is the end. Please don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.